Welcome to English Easy Hub. Join us as we ignite the flames of your English learning journey together.
Please subscribe to watch and embark on your English learning journey. Don't miss out on the exciting content. In this dialogue, Jack and his father explore the concept of how to make learning more enjoyable and meaningful. Jack is struggling with staying motivated in subjects that don't seem immediately relevant or interesting. His father shares deep insights on how to shift perspective, approach learning with curiosity, and turn the process into a fulfilling experience. They touch on key themes like the long-term benefits of learning, the importance of curiosity, the role of failure, and the balance between individual and collaborative learning. Through this discussion, they delve into strategies to make learning not just a requirement, but a personal and engaging journey.
Hey Dad, I've been thinking a lot about how to enjoy learning. Sometimes it feels like a struggle, especially with subjects I don't particularly like. How can I make learning more fun?
That's a great starting point, Jack. One of the most important things is to shift your mindset from viewing learning as a chore to seeing it as an opportunity. The way you approach it makes all the difference. Why do you think you struggle with certain subjects?
I guess it's because they don't feel connected to my life. It's hard to care about things that don't seem useful. Like, when am I ever going to use certain math concepts in real life?
That's a common feeling. But let me ask you this. Do you think everything worth learning has to be immediately practical?
Not necessarily. But it would help if it felt like it mattered.
Right? And that's where the bigger picture comes in. Learning isn't always about immediate application. Sometimes it's about training your mind to think in different ways. Math, for instance, teaches problem solving and logic. Even if you never directly use certain equations, the mental discipline you build is valuable.
So, even if it feels pointless now, I'm actually training my brain for bigger challenges?
Exactly. Think of it like going to the gym. You lift weights not because you plan on picking up heavy objects all the time, but because it strengthens your muscles. Similarly, learning stretches your mental muscles, and that can help you in unexpected ways down the road. You don't have to love every subject, but understanding its long-term benefits can help you stay motivated.
That's a cool way of thinking about it. But what about subjects I want to learn, like history or science? How do I make sure I stay curious and not just cram facts?
Now that's where curiosity really shines. The first step is to ask more questions, not just about what happened, but why and how. For example, instead of just memorizing historical dates, ask yourself why certain events happened the way they did. What if something had gone differently? Play around with alternate possibilities. It makes learning an adventure.
Like turning history into a what-if game?
Exactly. History is full of twists and turns, and thinking about those moments in terms of what could have happened makes it come alive. You can apply the same to science. Imagine you're a detective trying to figure out how the natural world works. Instead of passively accepting facts, approach learning as an investigation.
That sounds more engaging. So, curiosity is really about making learning feel like an exploration?
Yes, and part of that exploration is personalizing it. How does what you're learning connect to your own life, or to something you're passionate about? If you're studying a scientific discovery, think about how it affects technology today, or how it might relate to issues you're interested in, like environmental changes or space exploration.
I like that. But sometimes, even with subjects I enjoy, I hit a wall. It feels like no matter how much effort I put in, I'm not improving. How do I push through that?
That's a real challenge. Learning plateaus happen to everyone. When you hit that wall, it's important to change up your approach. Take a break, shift your perspective, or try explaining what you've learned to someone else. Often, Teaching forces you to clarify your understanding and identify gaps in your knowledge. Also, don't underestimate the power of taking a step back to recharge. It can help you return with fresh energy and ideas.
So instead of just grinding through it, I should mix things up when I get stuck? Maybe try talking about it or even learning in different ways?
Exactly. Variety keeps your brain engaged. If reading isn't working, try watching videos or listening to podcasts on the topic. Or find real-world examples and see how the concept applies outside of the classroom. And don't forget collaboration. Discussing ideas with others can bring new insights and make learning more interactive.
Speaking of collaboration, how important do you think learning from other people is? Like, how much of it is a solo journey versus working with others?
That's a great question. Learning is both a solo and a social experience. There's a lot you gain from reflecting and processing things on your own, but interacting with others can take your understanding to a new level. Think of it as a balance. Your individual work builds your foundation, and collaboration helps you expand and challenge your thinking. Other people bring different perspectives, which can open up ideas you hadn't considered.
I see. So, talking to friends or even just bouncing ideas off each other could help me learn better?
Definitely. You'll be surprised how explaining your ideas to others, or hearing theirs, can deepen your own understanding. Sometimes, others will ask questions you hadn't thought of, and those questions can push you to think more critically.
What about making mistakes? I sometimes feel like I'm learning more from my failures than my successes. Is that a good thing?
Absolutely. Failure is one of the best teachers. When you make a mistake, it forces you to confront what went wrong, which sharpens your thinking. Instead of avoiding failure, embrace it as a stepping stone. Every mistake you make brings you closer to understanding. And when you approach learning with that mindset, it becomes less about avoiding errors and more about growing through them.
That's a relief. I always thought mistakes were something to be ashamed of, but if I look at them as opportunities to grow, they're not so bad.
Right. There's no shame in making mistakes. It's part of the process. In fact, some of the most successful people in history were lifelong learners who weren't afraid to fail. They saw mistakes as a chance to refine their skills and knowledge. The more comfortable you become with trial and error, the more resilient and curious you'll be in the face of challenges.
I like that. So, I guess learning is about curiosity, patience, and resilience. But how do I make sure I don't burn out?
Balance is key, Jack. Learning doesn't always have to be intense or constant. Take breaks, pursue hobbies, and make time for things you enjoy outside of school. It's also important to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. A sense of accomplishment can keep you motivated in the long run.
So, pacing myself is just as important as staying curious?
Exactly. Learning is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to figure everything out in one go. The journey itself can be rewarding if you allow yourself time to reflect, explore, and enjoy the process. And remember, there's no end to learning. It's something you'll carry with you throughout your life.
That's a comforting thought. I guess if I stop worrying about the outcome so much, I can focus more on enjoying the process.
You're catching on, Jack. When you shift your focus from merely achieving results to embracing the journey, learning becomes much more enjoyable. It's not just about grades or tests, but about curiosity, growth, and the excitement of discovering new things.
Thanks, Dad. This whole conversation has changed how I see learning. I'm going to approach things differently from now on.
I'm glad to hear that. Just remember, Learning is your own personal adventure. Make it fun, make it meaningful, and don't be afraid to explore the unknown. That's where the real joy of learning lies.
The conversation wraps up with a powerful summary of the key lessons learned. Jack's father emphasizes that the core of enjoyable learning lies in finding purpose, cultivating curiosity, and embracing challenges. Rather than focusing solely on results, learning should be approached as a process of exploration and growth. Mistakes are valuable opportunities for deepening understanding, and collaboration can bring fresh perspectives. Above all, Jack is encouraged to view learning as a lifelong journey, one that isn't just about accumulating knowledge but about developing resilience, creativity, and joy. By shifting focus to the process rather than the outcome, learning becomes not only more manageable, but also rewarding and exciting.
Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep the English learning journey alive.